Asset allocation, we talk about life insurance term. Then in the mutual fund, what generally a financial planner will do is he'll divide your mutual fund into debt and equity. He has to do that. If he is not doing, then then he is not following the principles of asset allocation, because asset allocation is one of the most important things for long-term success of your investment. So if you are doing asset allocation, you will allocate certain part to debt. What is debt? Debt is all investments which give you an approximate around fixed kind of interest. The capital is 99% secure and safe. There is no risk. So they will put almost 40 to 50% in debt, and they will put the balance 40 to 50% in equity. Equity basically is risky in the short term. It's very, it's something which is very rewarding in the long term. So the risk keeps going as the time frame goes on increasing, and you get returns which can beat inflation. It's very important. Please understand and remember this. The mutual fund beats inflation, but you cannot give mutual fund at the cost of the life insurance endowment policy. So what is very important here is that instead of breaking up a term policy and a debt in mutual fund and equity in mutual fund, I suggest that what we should do is we should include the debt component with the life insurance. So instead of buying a term policy only, and I'll tell you why that could be little dangerous, is because if you buy a term policy only, then what happens is that the debt part will be separately managed, the equity part will be separately managed. But if you can combine debt and term insurance to create the endowment policy, the returns are not too very different. But what happens the minute you merge your term insurance with an endowment policy, then what happens is the aid to thrift comes into the picture. Then there is a guarantee, 99% there is a guarantee, because you are forced to pay the premium. You keep invested. There is a big loss if you are exiting, and therefore most people on flimsy grounds will not exit, and therefore their goals will be achieved. And therefore it's very, very important that we need to combine and do asset allocation. So from asset allocation perspective also, the term policy can be there, but also you need to have an endowment policy equal to the amount of percentage that you want to invest in debt, and then you have the equity mutual fund. So all this put together becomes like a nice package, where the person gets the best of all the worlds. So he has safety, he has liquidity, he has long-term perspective, he has thrift, he has everything. So that's it's a win-win game. The third thing that I would like to talk about is claim concession. Now claim concession is one of the very, very important reason why term policy does not make sense. The term policy lapses within 15 days or 30 days at max. So if you don't pay the premium within 30 days, the policy will lapse. This has happened in the US, where a lot of term policies, when the claim occurred, the policies were lapsed. That is one of the things. That's we don't have these statistics in India, but someday I am planning and trying to get these statistics as to how long are the term policies lasting. But I'll tell you something very interesting. And my dear friends, the minute we discuss with clients on mutual fund and term, I know many of you miss talking about these various points. There is one thing which is very, very important, and that is called as a claim concession. I don't know whether you have heard about it, but claim concession is one of the very important parameter in this whole financial planning. And the claim concession is what? Basically, the claim concession says that if you buy an endowment policy, so again let me make it clear, a term policy lapses within 15 days or 30 days. That's it, period. There is no extension, there is nothing we need to talk about it. But an endowment policy which has a saving component, number one, if you look at it, the number one thing is that first is that within the first 3 years, the claim concession is 30 days, which means if a customer dies within 30 days of paying the within 30 days of the due date of the premium, then the full claim is payable minus the premium. So the claim concession for the policies within the first 3 years is only 30 days. They are like the term. So all endowment policies also are like term policy, but they are only for the first 3 years. Term policy is throughout the term. Please remember this one very difference. You need to tell this very, very exclusively and clearly to the customer. So term policy lapses in 15 days or 30 days throughout the term of the policy. An endowment policy, if it lapses within the first 3 years, then the 30 days is the grace period, or something called the claim concession. If the policy is within 4th and 5th year, if it has completed 4 years and not completed 5 years, it has completed 3 years and not completed 5 years, then the claim concession is 6 months, which means even if you don't pay premium for 6 months, the policy will still be considered as in force, and your revival is something which is called auto revival. So whenever the branch talks about auto revival, it's about the claim concession. You just need to pay the premium, the interest on that, but you don't need to give any evidence of health. Neither you need to fill the evidence of health, neither you need to do the medicals. So a policy which is in the 4th year and 5th year, you get 6 months grace period. Very, very important, my dear friends, very important, because when there is a financial crisis, recently we had this epidemic, corona, due to which COVID-19, due to which for 1.5 years people were not earning money. What would happen to their policies? Most of the policies, even term policies and endowment policies, would have lapsed. But the people who have completed 3rd year and 4th year would be able to get claim concession for 6 months. Once the policy completes 5 years, then it is 1 year, 12 months. The policy doesn't lapse for 12 months. Within the 12 months, it's auto revival. You don't need to give any evidence for health, and that's a very, very important thing. And so those people during the COVID-19 who completed 5 years of their policy would be able to get this particular benefit. The other, after 18 months, after 1 year, and after 5 years, 5 year to half the term, 5 year to 6th year to half the term, the claim concession is 18 months. 5th year, 6th year to half the term. So if there is a 20-year policy, it is from 6th year to 10th year. If it is a 15-year policy, it is 6th year to 7.5 years. So like that, it is half of the term. When's the half of the term? Till that time, you are getting, and beyond that, once it completes that, you get claim concession for 18 months. Once the policy crosses the half the term, you have 18 months of claim concession. So let me just put it again. First 30 days, first 3 years, it is 1 month. 3rd year and 4th year, it is 6 months. From 5th year to the half the term is 12 months, and after half the term is completed, it is 18 months. Imagine getting the full risk cover for 18 months without paying a premium. I'll give you an example. One of my very good clients who had a very big policy, something like a 25 lakh policy way back in 2010, he had almost completed half the term, and he came into a very, very serious problem. He had to literally sell off his office, sell off his gold and everything, and he came running to my office and told me, Lazarus, please surrender this policy, I want all the money. I asked him, sir, calm down, sit down, please let me know what has happened. And he explained to me the whole situation where the court had asked him, something happened in his business due to which court had given him a short duration between which to deposit the money, and he was just trying to collect everything. And then he told me this is what has happened. So I told him, sir, please don't tell me what is the solution. As far as insurance is concerned, I am the best and I know what should be the solution. So we are not going to surrender the policy. He says, but I need money. I just asked him to sit down. Luckily, my branch was very close to my office in Dadar, and I sent my person. I called up the branch manager, and within 2 hours, he got a 10 lakhs ka loan ka check he would have got around 11 to 12 lakhs if at all he had to surrender. He got 10 lakhs, and then I told him, for the next 18 months, even if you don't pay the premium, I am not going to come to you to ask the premium. So 18 months you can take a premium holiday. Of course, it's a holiday, means you have to pay it someday, but at least right now, under the stress, you don't have to think about paying the premium. Your full risk cover will be applicable. You will be applicable for 20 lakh risk cover plus around 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs, whatever is the bonus that was accumulated. All this minus the loan is what your family will get. I was able to protect that policy. If it was a term policy, he would not have managed to pay, because really for 1 year he was in complete dire straits. But because this policy was an endowment policy, we could wait for about 17 months, and then slowly he took another loan from the policy, repaid, paid up all the pending premiums. Whatever loan he has taken over the next period of 7 to 8 years, he was able to kind of earn some money. He took up a job, he stopped his business, and then by the time, I think last year or a year back, 2 years back, he had the full maturity value of that policy, and which is, I have saved huge number of my clients from actually going into dire straits. Imagine if somebody had a term policy and he is not able to pay, what will happen is he will not get the claim. The family will not be protected based on what we are thinking. That's the third thing to be remembered. The fourth thing is, I always talk about the balance boat concept. The balance boat concept is a very, very important. So there are, in a boat, what do you have? You have the sail, you have the hull, and you have the life jacket. So what is a sail? Sail basically gives speed and direction to the boat. Sail gives speed and direction to the boat. So that is what is the objective or the purpose of the sail. The hull is something that gives stability to the boat. The hull gives stability to the boat, and then there is a life jacket, that in case of something happening, you have a life jacket so that the life can be saved. Now if you have all this in the proper proportion, it is called a balance boat. If you have all this in the proper proportion, it is called a balance boat. And I'll tell you very simply, this balance boat does not happen to be balanced most of the time. Most of the clients, So when somebody comes with MF plus term objection, I give him this example. So there are three types of boat that I talk about. The first boat is called the short-term purpose boat. It's called the short-term purpose boat, which has a very big hull. It has no life jacket, it has no sail. So these small boats, which with the rowing, people, the people who want to row that boat, they have that rows, and it doesn't have a sail, so you will not get a speed. What happens to that boat? That boat will remain in one place. It will not move very forward. So your portfolio will not get return. Portfolio will not get return. And what does the sail, the hull denote? What does the hull denote? The hull denotes the debt investments. So let me first also talk about what are the three things which are denoted by the balance boat. Those are sail. Just like it gives speed and direction to the boat, it means it is mutual fund and shares and real estate which gives speed to your portfolio. So overall portfolio, it gives speed. What is the hull doing? The hull gives stability. So the hull gives stability so that in case of even there is a storm, it doesn't topple, or it doesn't, it doesn't fall down, it doesn't tumble. And therefore that sail is very important. It gives you stability. It gives you, the effort. It gives you the benefit of reaching your goals in time. And the life jacket is all type of protection, which is all type of insurance policies. In the short-term purpose boat, there is no sail, there is no life jacket, which means the boat does not get any speed and direction. It doesn't get, it cannot take care of inflation. The capital will get eroded with the inflation. So I ask my customer, do you think you should have a boat which is like a short-term purpose boat? Because this boat will not go too far. It will be just a small distance. You can't take it far. It can't play a very big role in your life. The lot of people who are very conservative and who are very scared and who don't want to take risk, who want to keep money below their pillow, they will be actually sailing in a short-term purpose boat. The second type of boat is called as the Harshal Mehta model. I call it the Harshal Mehta model. The Harshal Mehta model means it is a very big sail and the hull is very small, there is no life jacket. It's a very big sail. I think you must have seen the speed boats, whenever you have boats for races, they have very huge sails. The hulls are very small. These are okay for the race for short distance, but if there is a small storm, it will topple because it does not have a balancing factor. So those people who only invest in the mutual fund and the stock market without investing in debt or without investing in insurance, they will be faced with this kind of a thing, that even if there is a small storm, just like what we had COVID-19 recently, then it could be a very, very bad thing for them. And the third boat which we talked about is the balance boat, which has everything in the right proportion. It has a sail, it has a hull, and it has a life jacket. And if we compare asset allocation, so generally my advice to my clients is to keep 40% in debt and 60% in equity. Your sale should be consisting of 60% of your investable funds. Your hull should be of 40%, and whatever that hull part is, basically the hull part is your endowment life insurance policy, and your jacket is the thing which comes free, because term insurance is included in all these examples. I hope it would be very easy for you to talk about the endowment policies, why they are important. The claim concession is a very, very important thing, and then it would be very easy for you to convince at least a large portion of people. I am not saying everybody will get convinced, because we don't need to convince everybody, but at least the people whom we are able to convince with this kind of very logical discussion, talking about finance as emotional, and then giving all these things in a step by step way. I want you to make notes, and I want you to study this. I want you to see this video multiple times, because it will not get into your head unless you see it multiple times. So here's a request for you. Why don't you subscribe to our channel if you are still not subscribed, because you will be losing out on a lot of these videos. Please subscribe. Please also like the video, because that's very important for us that you like it. Also, you can put comments about how how you enjoyed or how you liked the concept. Did you know about this? Have you heard about this, or are you listening to this for the first time? How did you like it? Put it in the comments. And also, as I keep asking you, please tell us what topics you want us to come out with videos, and also any other objection which you feel we have still not handled and you would like us to handle. So please put in the comment, so that we will definitely look at that and come out with videos. But don't forget again to subscribe and to share this video with all your friends, all your agent friends and development officer friends. It will be a rich dividend for them. They will thank you from the bottom of their heart for sharing this video. Thank you.